Darielle, everybody, welcome back. The face behind the Urban Book Nook, where I share book reviews, author spotlights, and all things lit. And I mean that literally. And I am so happy to be here today because we've got an amazing guest. If you follow me closely, I was there almost a year ago in August, and I am sitting down with Lachey, the owner of Two Best Friends Cafe. And I cannot wait to dive in to how we got here and just the story behind you. So, welcome.
You. So glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, a year ago, when I came in the store, I remember telling you that I was going to start doing interviews, and then you were on my list. So, true to my word, I am so happy that we're here. Like, I looked back at my post. Okay, so it's been a year ago because it came in August, so almost a year ago, and it was on TikTok, and people are still asking me about this place. So what does that mean to you to kind of hear? I guess that your space is creating still that amount of attraction.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely overwhelming just because the support just seems to be ongoing and definitely love that. But sometimes, just being in the weeds of things, you're not really sure what's landing and if, the word is getting out or how. And so it is very refreshing just to see that traction just still continue on.
Girl, I loved your spot. It is the coziest spot ever. Like to me, it makes if I had a what a bookstore would be like in my mind, it exactly you spit it out perfectly. So I think you created that space just like I couldn't make it no better. I definitely sleep there. You'd have to be like, go home. Go home. So
Well, thank
let's start from the
you.
beginning. What inspired you to open the Two Best Friends Cafe and books?
Yeah, actually a lot of things. So, I've always, it's funny because it just came back up in my Facebook memories. I posted years ago that, oh, I wish I could own a bookstore one day. And because I also have a history as a barista and, I just get to serve drinks all day and be in a bookstore. And so that's always been like an inside goal of mine. And maybe not even really goal is the right word. It was more like a bucket list, dream list
Love
thing,
that.
So I never really thought that I'd be here at this point. But then in April of 2023, my best friend, she passed away due to domestic violence. And then it just really changed my outlook of everything, what I was doing, what I was spending my day to day doing, also just how I wanted to be intentional about honoring her and
Yeah.
her legacy, which she is a very giving person, a selfless person, very much a community advocate in a very like grassroots way. So
Yeah.
I just knew that I wanted to do something to honor her. And I just kind of wanted to stay in the space that I knew, which is books and connection and coffee and just really centering around the community and carry her values of support, of the community into that. So that was really like how everything started, just really looking for that way to honor her in a way that could continue to inspire others and share what we had with each other
Yeah.
other people, like create that space. And it's just been kind of a growing thing. Like in my mind, originally, I thought of like a little small like stand,
Yeah.
book stand, and which I would have been happy in that space as well. But things align how they should have, for me to be in this physical space.
Wow. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. So my best friend passed a couple of years ago, so I get it. I make
Wow.
more conscious decisions now,
Yes.
and I still hold conversations like, "Girl, this is what I'm about to do. What you think?" So I get that. So that just warmed my heart because I have to bring up my best friend's memory as well and make sure that I'm making sure her legacy keeps on. Like I scream to the top of the hill. So just I
Yeah.
love that. So you kind of answered a little bit. So how has this journey been since opening and what has surprised you most about being a bookstore owner?
Oh, well, since opening, well, I'll say up to that point of opening, it really just felt like a very magical. spirit-led process, just of things coming together. And then in the era of opening, I was just really shocked by the support of the community, and just like I hadn't even really started to officially market yet, but people were finding me and spreading the word, and just, really even returning to pour back into the space. A lot of collaborators and things like that that support to best friends started out as customers, if you want to call it that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say that has been very overwhelmingly shocking in a good way, because I expected to have to do more
Marketing.
cool. Yeah. And it's like, no, like,
We
okay,
got
I'm here
you.
for this. Okay,
We
fine,
got
cool.
you. Cause that's how I found out about. Well, I asked Threads. I was like, "Hey, I'll be in the Atlanta area.
Hmm.
What black-owned bookstore should I stop by?" And I think like four of my replies were yours. So I was like, "That's where I gotta go." I found you off of Threads, so the word is out there. Like people know, and my video is still being saved, tagged, repost. I think I just got a repost the other day, and I was like. Oh, that video still okay, okay. So I love that. No, we are here. And if
Yeah.
I see anybody asking for book recommendations or where they can go, I'm definitely in the Atlanta space. Like I live there. Like this is where you need to go. If you're in
Yeah.
the Atlanta area, stop by.
I
So
love that. And what, to that point, it really has been, I mean, the community at large has shown a lot of love, but Black women in particular feel like this cafe has been loved on so much by Black women just wanting to contribute and help to activate the space and help to, just really pour that spirit and support back into
yeah.
our community.
And I think that's why I advocate for you so much as a book owner because you create a safe space for us where we can sit back and talk about a book and let it be something taboo or something political, or it can be about relationships and maybe decisions. We have that space that we can talk and not be judged. And it's just that space only exists like at home and in a bookstore. And so if we can continue to have that space with more like-minded people, I think all of us are like, no,
Yeah.
no, we need more of this. Like I even see the events that you have coming, that you had going on, that you have coming up. I see reposts. I see the poets. Like
Yeah.
you've created this artistic space that is just oh. If I could play the piano, I'd be all up in your space. I promise you.
Listen, you don't have to play anything. Come on, get on the mic. We have, as you mentioned, like the open mic, which is the friendly mic, which is really just such a reflection of the amazing talent that is in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And, we really shine a light on queer talent here in Atlanta, and just really having a welcoming space where if you've never done this before, you can get up and know that you're going to be supported. So it's really been a blessing to me, just to even experience myself. I think that, to your earlier point, there is just such a craving for the connection and for just real interaction within us as a community, as Black people. And so however I can help to support that, provide space. Yeah.
You doing it. You doing it. So to kind of piggyback off of that, why
Yeah.
was it important for you to create that space? Just for book lovers, for artists, for creatives, for Black women, Black people? Like why? Everybody has their why, but is it something that you got when you were earlier, or is it something you felt like you needed yourself? Like what made that kind of come to life?
You I think it is something more that I felt like I needed.
Okay.
And not that, bookstore in general. There are a lot of amazing bookstores here in Atlanta, Black owned, woman owned. But in terms of just like a third space kind of place that you could go, um, I feel like there's this transition period when you come out of what you normally do to hang out, especially here
Mhm.
in Atlanta, like being in the clubs and this and that, and even brunch has turned into the club now. So it's just, you start to look for other things,
Mhm.
other experiences to like activate yourself and your soul. And that's what I felt like I was needing. And in a way that felt inclusive, but
Mhm.
really design. Like I didn't want to, have a space that I feel like, oh, everyone is included here. No, this is for you. Black,
Hmm.
this is for you, queer people. This is for you. So yeah, I guess it's more of what I wanted to experience.
So one thing that definitely sold me on your place is like the graffiti wall. Like, how did that start and why is it? Well, I definitely left my mark. And so maybe that's
Yes,
why I'm always like, you stuck with me because I left my mark.
yes, you
Why
did.
was it so important for, I guess, the wall? Like, what's the story behind the wall?
It was really organic. I think I originally it was a blank white wall and I had envisioned, just some mural masterpiece, right? And um I don't know, maybe I didn't put enough energy into looking for an artist in that realm, but before I knew it, it was a soft launch, and I'm like, we have this white wall. What are we gonna do? And so I'm like, you know what? Everyone's that's here for the soft launch, just sign your name or sign whatever message that you want to put out there in relation to friendship or. And so they did, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. My first thought was to paint over it with and just have the energy underneath the painting, right?
Yeah,
Right. Uh, it was art in itself. There was so many different, even of the few that started, it was like different fonts people were painting in. I didn't even know you could paint, girl. Like, so yeah, I think it just became a really good way for people to leave their mark here and just to add to the art that
it
is,
does. It
yeah.
does, but you can feel maybe the positive energy. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's just leaving our mark in a space that we feel like is for us
Mhm.
truly is like the warmness maybe that I feel because it's there. So
Mhm.
you're onto something letting people do that. I love it though, but it makes it so unique. And then
Mhm.
you feel a part of, and I think that's that community when you put your name kind of in ink or stone that
Mhm.
you're stamped in this life.
Exactly. It's your spot now.
I know, right? So how do you decide what books to stock? Like, what's your curation process?
Oh, that's such a great question. So of course, social algorithms
Hmm.
are a huge influence, but because of that, um, I try to stay in the algorithm of what, you know, speaks to Black women and not necessarily just stories about or by Black women, but in a thematic way.
Mm.
Um, and also, I try to tap into like self-published authors who are available, from distribution centers or even just going to them directly. They are available to be in stores, but not often sought after. And I think it's really cool when people come in here and they see a book that they may have seen on TikTok, never saw it in a store, and it's like,
Yep.
oh, you have this here. It's like, yeah, there's a spot for those books on the shelves too. And I think what drives like the decision is like the values of what Two Best Friends was created for, which is honoring me and my friends' friendship. And I am more of a fiction, romance. I like generational stories. I like a little bit of fantasy. And she is more of a personal wellness, self-help, financial wellness. And so I really just stay within those realms.
Because that's exactly what I got. You're actually right. 'Cause I got
Exactly.
a garden book. It was Black women gardening. And
Hmm.
then the other books I got were like historical fictions. But
Hmm.
y'all both spoke to my inner me. So I walked away happy camper with both selections. Because I
Good.
think
I'm
you
glad.
recommended The American Queen.
Hmm.
And that was really good. You did
Hmm.
well. You did well. I enjoyed it being my history buff self. So, but
Good.
okay. So then, if that is your selection process, if somebody was to come in, and they say, "Well, do you recommend any books? What books do you recommend then?"
Well, while that is my selection process, like it's where it starts, I always veer off into things that I probably would never pick up.
Okay.
And so I just kind of asked, what do they, if they had the full day off to read, what would they be reading? Like what kind of story would they be reading or what genre?
Mm.
Um, and just kind of go from there. Sometimes people think that they want like a suspense story. And when you start asking them more questions, it's like, no, you really want like more of just something that's going to keep you on your toes, keep you on the edge of your
Mhm,
seat, but it's not really like, mystery,
mhm,
suspense. It's just,
mhm.
so just talking to them more and understanding, like, are you a mood reader? Are you looking for something to just have on the shelf to pick up? And yeah, I think that's where it starts, just the conversation. One thing or area that's been fairly new since opening the store is more spiritual books and faith-based books.
Mhm.
I historically hadn't really read in that realm. And so that is an area where I had to do a lot of deep diving to see what's out there. Um, you know.
Okay, so two things, right? So that's so funny that you say that because I made a post talking about if anybody asks me for book recommendations, like I really do need to go through a questionnaire. I at
Mhm.
least need to ask you 5 to 6 questions because I don't want to recommend you something that you thought you wanted and it really wasn't. So that's funny
Okay.
that you do that because you do need
Gotta
to narrow
unpack
it down.
this.
Now, for the spiritual base, there's a Christian author. Her name is Christina Johnson.
Hmm.
It's spicy now,
Hmm.
but it's Christian fiction.
Hmm.
Now, I think this genre is great. It is what we call spice and smut. But if
Okay.
you're opening to some Christian fiction,
Okay.
it's a great recommendation. Just
Okay.
saying.
Noted.
I think she'll stock your
Noted.
shelves on that one, but it's Christian. So if you want a little something,
Okay.
but spiritual books are always, I guess, hard to determine too because some people want to be told what to do, some people want to be grow, want to grow. So I would love to see what books you pick on that because I think
Yeah, yeah.
I read spiritual as well. So I want to see if I'll be back. Don't worry.
Okay.
When are you going to start stocking those? So I'll probably be back in May or August.
Well, I have them now. So
Don't
yeah.
tempt me
When
with
you
a
get
good time.
here,
Okay.
when you
So
get here.
I will be there. Don't, I will tell you when I'm coming to just to make sure. But I will be there. I have to pick my son up from college again. So we'll do a pit stop in Atlanta. So I'll definitely
Okay.
buy again. Now I don't know if I'm signing my name twice, but maybe I could put a two behind it.
Add to it. Yeah.
So how has this business changed you?
A lot. It's changed me so much. One, just feeling very empowered to think something and
Okay.
then do it and put it out there. And you just never know who's going to be activated by the same thought that you had. And while I had to do that in the larger sense with the business itself,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm doing it every day, every week with each event, each idea or an experience, just continuing to practice turning thoughts into things. And so that's been a really big change. Also, just really holding space, taking a pause, which it doesn't always feel like a pause because
Yeah.
technically work, but uh, being in the space just allows me to tap into just the pause of the moment,
Yeah.
and especially when there's other people here co-working and they're just like, why not sit down and do this puzzle right now? Why not, so it's allowed me some pause times when I choose to take it. Uh, and then I also say that just really, like I mentioned earlier, being loved on by the community, being able to provide a space for a certain intersection of the Atlanta community that may not have always like a space designed for them.
Mhm.
So that's just been really life-changing. It's been activating in the sense that I want to have this in my life
Yeah.
feeling, you know what I mean, of contentment. It just create a space for that in my life forever.
Well, you definitely deserve all your flowers. So I promise you, all the flowers. If I could give you a dozen thousand roses, you deserve each and every one. Because I don't, as you said, it's hard for you to stop. I think even looking at your social media and people tagging, you're pouring into us and you don't even know it. So this is just from one person, from representing everybody. You definitely deserve your flowers for everything. So what upcoming events, programs do you have planned and what should we know about?
Yes, well, actually, in just a few days, we have a love letters event with a new sort of I don't want to say social group, it's a little bit more than that, but like a meetup group of Black women and femme identifying people here in Atlanta. So just launching that. It is called Dear Love. It's going to be a poetry workshop, writing love letters in honor of the love season. We also have the Friendly Mic, of course, twice a month, and this upcoming edition is going to be our Love Jones edition. And we have Yappers, which is a
Love
stand-up
it.
open mic, which again, girl, when you come in town, you don't need to have anything prepared. You grab
Okay.
the mic and
I'm
just
gonna go there with a Issa Rae freestyle. I won't say
hey.
broken pussy, but I'll make sure.
But yeah, we have that coming up. And then in March, it's going to be Women's History Month. So we're actually partnering with Yelp to do a art show that is focused on women's history, as well as a performance with Michaela Smith, who is a poet laureate here in Georgia. So a lot of things coming up. Definitely everybody tap into our socials at Two Best Friends Cafe, TWO, Best Friends
Yeah.
Cafe. We'll be posting all the things on our website as well, where we have our Hey Best Friend blog. So that's twobestfriendscafe.com.
Are you on Substack?
I am not on Substack yet. No.
It's the same thing as it would literally you just be taking the blog and putting the
Blog and put
same
it over
thing.
there.
It's
Okay.
the same thing, but Substack, I think you would do really good on Substack, especially if you do the blogs. Substack has been like the black superb literature right now. I'm
Okay.
following some very strong writers and I love it. So
Okay.
question for you, can we order books online for you?
Yes. So on that same site, twobestfriendscafe.com, if you go to the shop button, it'll take you over to the store.
Okay, girl, let me
Mm.
put it in. And you shop, I mean you send you ship anywhere?
Yes, I do.
Okay, girl, let me put this right here to make sure everybody knows. Now I gotta make sure everybody know that you can
Yeah, the
order online
online
because I
store
didn't know that
everywhere.
before. Before I was just telling them to go in, but now, oh, now you really about to be tagged in everything. Now that I know you ship, oh baby, you about to be sick of
Yeah.
me. I'm so glad you joined me. Any parting words for our audience before you go?
I just want to acknowledge again just the bookish community at large. I mean, I know that it's all a shared love of literature, but also you find your people, and I'm just very grateful to have done that. Thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for highlighting just everybody in the world doing their thing. Um, yeah, and that's it.
I enjoyed you so much.
Girl.